Is Bitcoin forming a new technical pattern? And what it means for Bitcoin's path to 100K. Hey guys, it's Keith Allen, cranking one out here the morning before Thanksgiving. Got a busy day and week. I'm cooking for 30 tomorrow. All right, so I want to jam this thing in here before I start my day of errands and prep and everything else that's going on. Hope you guys are having a good one. Obviously, we've had some developing price action here on the Bitcoin chart, and well, some welcome it, some are freaked out about it. We're going to dive into it and see what it means. Of course, today, excuse me one second, it's early. I need a little coffee. Okay, so today, the day before Thanksgiving holiday, we got lots going on. A few things to remind you of. Our Better Than Black Friday sale at Material Indicators is about to come to an end. And so it's pretty much your last chance. Descriptions for the links for that are in the description down below. Of course, 50% on all annual and multi-year plans. Don't miss out on that one. And one other thing, like the only things better than the Black Friday deals are, one, that Better Than Black Friday sale with 50% off, and two, is free. And we are currently giving away tomorrow. And as a matter of fact, we're going to announce the winner. We got a deal going on with our friends at TradingView. Everybody knows TradingView, amazing charting platform that we all use. And we're giving away tomorrow a full year premium subscription to TradingView, along with a full year subscription to our MTF trend indicator, which for anybody who doesn't know is a pretty amazing tool for finding local support, for scalping, et cetera, et cetera. Let me find that thing really quick for you guys and just show you what's happening here recently on MTF. Here we go. Yesterday we were talking about Link. This basically, it's a mean reversion indicator. It finds bottoms with a high percentage, high probability of bouncing. You can set it based on the volatility of the asset you're trading, and it works with literally everything you can chart on TradingView. So check that out. There is a link in the description and also on Twitter to find your links to take advantage of that, of registering for that deal. So the housekeeping is out of the way. The one last bit is, of course, that live chat is open. And so I invite you to come join me, whether you have questions, whether you have insights, whether you have assets you want us to look at. It's been fun here this week. We've looked up a lot of coins that some followers have been watching, and so that's cool too. Aknak, good to have you here. Wakas, always good to see you. Let's go ahead and climb into what's happening here in the Bitcoin chart. As we can see, we have a solid test of support here that a couple days ago I had we were looking at it and price had hovered right here, and I felt like that was not, and I posted something on Twitter that did not feel like it was enough. We did actually see price come down into this channel, which is the last developing range, if you will. And so we came to the top of that range, which is interesting to me, right? 91.6 was kind of my target there on the top side of that. We wicked down below it briefly. We're now seeing a nice bounce from it. Worth noting, we're heading into a holiday weekend, and typically, markets like to end strong coming into things like this. Of course, holiday weekends and Thanksgiving especially are times when families and friends get together, and that there's going to be two hot topics here this year. One is politics, of course, and two is Bitcoin approaching 100K, and there's going to be a lot of people asking, hey, is now a good time to buy? Is now a good time to buy? So that typically leads to people buying in over the weekend or in the coming days. And so we're going to have to see if that's a good move or not. And so Aknak Post the question here, jumping the gun here, man. Where do I think Bitcoin is going to find local bottom before marching towards 100K again? That is exactly what we're going to talk about here today. And there are some good things. There's some not so good things, and we're going to look at all of them. One of them, one of the positives is that we did find local support right here at the top of this channel around 91.6K. And we're seeing price bounce from here. Also, what I consider to be very good news is the slower tempo from this move. The support test, as we see here, are very healthy, in my opinion, as are consolidations, right? So this, in my opinion, could only be healthier if it came down a little bit lower, potentially down to this 21-day moving average and bounced from there. Even to make it beyond that into this range at 86K, in the 86, 87 range would also be quite healthy, in my opinion. The bad news is there's signs that price could come down much further. And the reason for that, in my opinion anyways, is number one, at no point did this Trump pump look like a sustainable rally to me. We had a brief bit of consolidation here, which is good. And this is really from if you take it all the way back to the RS flip at 69K, which was the 2021 top. If you take it all the way back to here, this is the last RS flip. We spent what, 1, 2, 3, 4 days here. That's potentially an RS flip. Hasn't been tested. And of course, right here, potentially an RS flip. And now maybe this is the next RS flip. And if that's the case, well, gosh, we'll just keep grinding, maybe below this 100K for a little bit, and then boom, breakout. Does that happen after this holiday weekend? Does it happen around Christmas time? Does it happen New Year's? Does it happen around Inauguration Day on January 20th? All of this remains to be seen, and we just have to watch how things develop in the charts to get a sense of that. It's really difficult to forecast with any accuracy and say, okay, this is going to happen by the end of the year. Obviously, seeing these corrections are indications that you really can't make that bet. So another thing that maybe opens the door for more downside is we're going to have a pause on ETF flows because obviously holidays and weekends mean TradFi is closed and the ETF faucet is turned off. Past couple days have not been great. We look over at the far side chart. We can see that yesterday, the past 2 days have had net outflows. BlackRock bought on the 25th, and yesterday they were flat. And so we'll have to see what happens after the holiday here, how they continue after this. And these guys are not necessarily making the best decisions on price, right? We saw a major sell-off here just before price pumped. So we'll keep in tune. The demand, the bottom line, though, the important part is the demand has been outpacing what's being mined on a regular basis. And that's part of what is helping push price up. So back to the charts here. From here, another thing that I look at is so this holiday weekend, right? Not just the ETF flows turning off, but we have a situation where on holidays, like I mentioned, families get together, people start talking about price, right? And that is likely going to lure in more retail, which is good, right? And that could give us a short-term pump. That may be part of what we're seeing develop right now, because like I know a lot of college kids are already home, and that's obviously something that's going to be a topic of discussion. But also, what tends to happen with retail, especially new retail? All right, these are mostly paper hands, right? So let's say they come in this week and they buy this dip. Price pumps up a little bit. Everybody gets excited. They put in a little more money. And then what happens? What typically happens with retail in this wild west of crypto? They get shaken out. So we could see a pump, and then we could see another flush, shake them out before the next move up. This is, of course, has a pretty solid degree of speculation in it, but uh, if you spend a little time in this market, you get a sense of what happens. Now, to the technical part, this structure here that is potentially developing, and it's very early to call this because we're only partially built, right? And it, like I said, if price bounces from here or bounces from here, then it invalidates. But we do have a potential head and shoulders pattern developing here. If this is the left shoulder and this is the head, and that makes this the neckline, then we would obviously, for this to develop, need to see a further breakdown here for the right shoulder, and whether that meant it comes down just to this 86K level, or whether it comes lower, potentially down to the 76K level, or deeper yet, all the way down to the 2021 top and retest this. There's pros and cons to each of those moves, and there's confluence in each of those moves that I want to point out to you. Obviously, the most logical one is if we were to go all the way down to the 2021 top. We do have some confluence here with the 100-day moving average. This, as we said, is the last really validated RS flip that we've seen, and a retest from here and a bounce. Well, that would be a monumental move. It would represent a significant correction of 30%, which is consistent, by the way, with what we have seen in prior bull markets, right? Seeing a 20 to 50% correction in a bull market is quite common, actually, for Bitcoin. The 9% that we've seen so far this week, that's not really enough, in my opinion. So that's a possibility, right? And sure, it's even possible that things could go lower. I mean, conceivably, all the way down to the trend line, and you're still well within that 50% range. The 200-day moving average is another one. For me, though, losing this 2021 top is not great. I mean, technically, if we stay above the trend line, the trend is intact, and that's solid. And this is probably the strongest place for foundational support on this trend line for that next big move up. But I'd be real happy if it came from right here at 69K. Do I have a stink bid down here just in case? Yeah, you better believe I do. So potentially it can also go here to this, as you can see, the red. Let me get that out of the way. You could see the red 50-day moving average. What's interesting about this is it has confluence with the where we have a little bit of consolidation, a very little bit, by the way, and we can see it a little bit better on the 4-hour chart. We did have a little bit of consolidation in this level, but what else the other thing we have here is where is it? Wait for it. There it is. We have the CME gap, and this goes down to 77 and about 78K. So it would be a bit of an overshoot to get there, but that's certainly conceivable, right? We can all picture how that could potentially happen, and this becomes a good bounce point for that next leg up. So that's another scenario that I'm looking at. Now, again, I want to remind you that this pattern is not fully developed. This is a really early idea, but I want you to be in tune to what is potentially developing so that you don't get wrecked here, right? I mean, my macro outlook remains macro bullish, and a big reason for that is because if we zoom all the way out, you can see where we sit in this halving cycle relative to previous cycles. Very, very early, in my opinion. So I like the macro outlook still. We're still well above trend. We're still doing very, very well. I just want to see support really established in a consistent and strong way before we get too euphoric about this move out from here. I think that the pace, slowing things down here, certainly good. So a bounce from the current range would invalidate the head and shoulders. A bounce from even down in the 21-day moving average would invalidate the head and shoulders, right? So for this to be validated as a a real head and shoulders technical pattern, we need to see things come down at least to this 86, 87K range. In terms of what might be supporting it here in the order book. Something else that's interesting to see, look at the erosion that we've had at 100K, right? On the 22nd, so 5 days ago, we had 250 million just at this single level here, right? And if I want go out to higher time frames, it's even higher. So this 250 million is now 158 million. So nearly 100 million has come out of that range, which is the erosion that we want to see to make it easier to penetrate. If I boost the contrast here in the chart, we can see there is indeed some support below, just not nearly as much as we have up above. But that support is forming here in the form of a bid ladder between 85K and 90K, where we just obviously had this bounce from. Going to be interesting to see if this holds or potentially develops, and we start to see bids moving up. You see this right here. We have a $11.5 million block of bid liquidity that has just floated up a little bit higher. So these are bullish signs that could push price up higher through this holiday weekend. Something to consider, of course, right? End of the day, like I said, my macro outlook is very, very strong, and I'm not doing a whole lot with my Bitcoin position. In fact, I'm sitting on my hands with my Bitcoin position. When we get these pullbacks, when we get these consolidations, those are times that alts can potentially fly. Just know that a lot of them come down as quickly as they move up. So take that for what it's worth, depending on how you like to trade. If you're a scalper or a swing trader, you're probably pretty excited about what lies ahead. If you're a long-term investor, Bitcoin's moving in the right direction, my friends, and the macro outlook is as strong as it's ever been. So you got that going for you. It's about all I can say. Going to wrap it right there, guys. Busy day and a holiday weekend. I hope that you all, wherever you are in the world, are going to spend some time this week with the people you love, doing something you love. And with that, I'm going to wish you all the best. Lots to be thankful for on my side, my family, my friends, my health, and this amazing market, and you guys. So thank you guys for all the ongoing support. Make sure you check out the links in the description so you don't miss out on any of these awesome deals that we're offering for you guys, including this giveaway that's coming up tomorrow. Going to wrap it right there, my friends, leaving you with a parting shot of the order book. Let's move into the daily chart and see if we can get eyes on what's happening here. Just briefly, you can see ask are stair stepping up. These are the bids that I talked about floating up. Not a ton, but it doesn't take a lot to move price. When the liquidity gets cleaned out like this, as we see in fire charts, it moves back up much easier. So lots of resistance up overhead and support laddering here from 85 up to now 91K. And with that, I'm going to wrap it. Have a great week and a great weekend, and happy Thanksgiving to all.